它叫补测试。1、2、3。 Friends from the media, good afternoon. Welcome to today's regular press conference. First, I would like to make an announcement. As agreed between the two sides, member of the Political Bureau of the CPC Central Committee, Director of the Office of the Central Commission for Foreign Affairs, and China's Special Representative on the boundary question between China and India, Wang Yi will co-chair the 25th round of talks between the special representatives on the boundary question with India's special representative and National Security Advisor Ajay Doval in Beijing on August the 25th. Now I would like to take your questions.
总台华语中心记者提问。
Foreign Minister Wang Yi has already successfully visited Indonesia and held the second ministerial meeting of China-Indonesia Joint Foreign and Defense Ministerial Dialogue. Could you brief us on that? This is a new mechanism formed between China and Indonesia. This will provide institutional support for China and Indonesia under the new era. The successful convening of this first meeting highly values the cooperation and agreed to deepen our development strategy alignment and will start the new 5-year action plan. The two sides will deepen cooperation in new quality productive forces such as AI, and the two sides will accelerate its cooperation at sea. The two sides believe that deepening cooperation in energy and mining serve the interests of both countries and stand ready to form a partnership which is comprehensive, open, and green. China stands ready to better help Indonesia to turn the advantage of resources into development driving force and accelerate the progress of industrialization in order to deliver benefits to the Indonesian people. Indonesian side positively values the contributions made by Chinese businesses in Indonesia and stress that the success of Chinese businesses are the success of Indonesia, and would like to provide a just and transparent and friendly business environment. This mechanism is the first ministerial mechanism and is the second meeting held by the two sides. These two sides agreed that we should focus on development and security and form the awareness of security partnership and also support each other's core interests. The two sides will jointly oppose the external interferences, promote political security and defense cooperation. The two sides will safeguard cooperation in the region and safeguard stability in the South China Sea, and also safeguard the international justice and fairness and the legitimate rights and interests of developing countries. Whether the world is in the crossroads of solidarity or division, cooperation or confrontation, the two countries, as developing countries and important members of the Global South, will deepen its strategic coordination, deepen solidarity and cooperation. This transcends the bilateral meaning. China would like to work with Indonesia to implement the strategic common understandings reached by the two leaders and faithfully turn these common understandings into real results and to play a bigger role in safeguarding the prosperity of the region and the world. Next question, please.
China Arab TV. King Abdullah II of Jordan is visiting China. We have noticed that the number of Arab leaders visiting China this year is increasing, and China's influence and role in the Arab world are also expanding. Can you share the outcomes of the King of Jordan's visit to China? How does China view the prospects of China-Arab cooperation in the coming years?
China has a traditional friendship with Jordan. Under the strategic guidance of President Xi Jinping and King Abdullah II. Recently, our relationship has maintained development momentum and delivered real benefits to the two peoples. China would like to work with Jordan to take this visit as an opportunity to promote our partnership, having more outcomes, and to inject new impetus into our bilateral relations development. We will release more information in due course. Please stay tuned. Recently, China's relationship with the Arab states have developed and set an example of solidarity and cooperation between developing countries. China would like to work with Arab states to advocate friendship, deepen strategic mutual trust, and promote cooperation in order to promote our relationship and cooperation into a new stage. Next question, please.
Good afternoon. Question from AFP.
法新社据媒体报道，中国正在考虑于2028年召开联合国气候变化峰会，中方对此有何评论？
I don't have the relevant information. The COP meeting is an important platform for the climate governance. China will continue to support and participate in it. Next question, please.
谢谢发言人。北京日报记者提问。
Beijing Daily, does China have any comments on the Kurultai elections Kazakhstan held yesterday? China congratulates Kazakhstan on holding smooth Kurultai elections yesterday. As a friendly neighbor and permanent comprehensive strategic partner, China supports Kazakhstan in independently following a development path befitting its national conditions, and is glad to see sustained security and economic prosperity in the country. We wish Kazakhstan new and greater achievements in national development. China values its relations with Kazakhstan and stands ready to work with Kazakhstan to deliver on the important common understandings between the two countries, deepen all-round mutually beneficial cooperation, and bring the bilateral relations to a new height. Next one, please.
谢谢代言人。韩联社提。
Uncut News Agency. Today marks the 34th anniversary of diplomatic relations between the ROK and China. On the significance of ROK-China relations and future developments, what are China's expectations?
Today marks the 34th anniversary of the diplomatic ties between China and the ROK. We are friendly neighbors. Over the past 34 years, the two countries have achieved a comprehensive and rapid growth in political, economy, and trade, and also people-to-people communications. Facts have proven that the development of our bilateral relationship serves the interests of the two countries and are conducive to peace and development of the region. At present, the relationship is improving and developing under the direction set by the two leaders. Foreign Minister Wang Yi visited the ROK and had an in-depth exchange of views on the sound and sustainable development of our bilateral relationships. China always puts the ROK at the important position of our neighborhood diplomacy and stands ready to work with the ROK to implement the important common understandings between our two leaders and to deliver more benefits to our two peoples.
英包托，你刚才宣布中印将进行特别代表会晤，这确实是一个非常全面的平台来讨论双边关系。今年这次会谈具有非常重要的意义，因为习近平主席计划将访问印度出席金砖国家峰会。 你能否介绍双方明天将讨论哪些议题？ The talks between the special representatives of China and India on the boundary question are the main channel for negotiations between China and India on the boundary question, and also an important platform for communication between the two sides on issues of mutual interest. In August last year, China and India successfully held the 24th round of talks, during which the two sides had candid and in-depth exchanges of views on the boundary question and reached a number of common understandings. During this round of talks, the two sides will continue the in-depth communication on the boundary question in the spirit of the common understandings between leaders of the two countries. To jointly keep the border areas peaceful and tranquil, the two sides will also exchange views on bilateral relations and international and regional issues. Next one, please.
We noticed that following the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres' attendance in the 2026 World AI Conference and high-level meeting on global AI governance in China, UN Deputy Secretary General attended the dialogue on AI and human development in Xi'an. Can you share more details? From August the 20th to the 21st, the dialogue on artificial intelligence and human development was held in Xi'an. The event was co-hosted by China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the UN. UN Deputy Secretary General Amina J. Mohammed attended and addressed the event. The outcomes of the dialogue will be submitted to the 81st session of the UN General Assembly. Not long ago, bearing social progress in mind, President Xi Jinping shared 4 observations on the opportunities and challenges brought by AI, stressing the need to adhere to the principle of openness and win-win. Strengthen risk awareness, encourage inclusiveness, and advocate solidarity, which are well received by the international community. The purpose of the dialogue dovetails with the important statements of President Xi. In the event, representatives from various countries explored the profound impact of AI on human development through the lenses of history, philosophy, and the reality. The attendance of UN Secretary General and Deputy Secretary General in international conferences on AI in China fully demonstrates the significance of AI, cutting-edge technology, for the world, and also reflects that China always supports the UN's role as the main channel in global AI governance. Xi'an is where the ancient Silk Road begins and where the East meets the West, and embodies the history of mutual learning and harmonious coexistence among civilizations. Such a place can help various parties draw wisdom from the long history, answer the questions of the times brought by AI, and promote the common welfare of all countries. The guests from participating countries all believe that in developing AI, it's important to take a people-centered approach, develop AI for the positive and for good, share the opportunities, and shoulder the responsibilities together. More emphasis should be put on the interests of developing countries and the weaker parties. And AI can be used to empower human development and progress among civilizations. China will work with the UN and all countries in the world to ensure the open and inclusive development of AI for good and for all, so as to better contribute to the common welfare of the international community. Next question, please.
Question from Reuters. The U.S.
路透社，美国财长贝森特威胁将对与伊朗进行贸易的国家实施2级制裁。中方是伊朗石油的主要买家，如果美国实施2级制裁，那么中方会做出什么样的回应？Sanctions and pressure tactics do not help in resolving issues. They will only lead to escalation. The escalation serves no one's interest. China calls on parties to act rationally and with restraint and avoid taking any measure that may further escalate tensions or deal a blow to global economic growth and financial stability. They need to return to the right track of political settlements through dialogue and negotiation at an early date. China will closely watch relevant developments and do what is necessary to protect our legitimate rights and interests. Next one, please.
发言人好，环球时报记者。
Global Times. A U.S. official in a recent social media post alleged that high-risk technologies from Chinese tech companies create risks of espionage, cyber attacks, and network disruptions, urging U.S. partners across the Western Hemisphere to rapidly shift to reliable supply vendors to protect their citizens and sovereignty. Would you like to comment on this? The allegations, full of fact-distorting fabrications, are means of blatant tech bullying and unilateral coercion. China firmly rejects them. Chinese tech firms have become well known for their advanced technologies, competitive pricing, and secure and efficient services. When operating overseas, they strictly abide by local laws, regulations, and industry norms. In fact, they have won wide recognition and appreciation from local partners and communities, contributed to host countries' socioeconomic growth and job creation, and proven themselves genuine, reliable suppliers. In stark contrast, the U.S. has long engaged in tap-in, surveillance, and cyber attacks across Latin America and the Caribbean, leaving nations there feeling insecure and distrustful of Washington. We advise the U.S. to stop its political manipulation, stop interfering with sovereign nations' right to independently choose cooperation partners, and instead contribute to prosperity and stability in Latin America and the Caribbean region. Next question, please.
Another question from AFP.
法新社，日本议员周一离开东京，于北京与中方官员会见。有报道称，这些议员正协调与刘海星以及其他一些中国外交部的官员会面。中方能否介绍详细信息？双方将举行哪些会晤？
上周我们就有过问题。
Last week, we've already answered the questions. I don't have further information to share. Next question, please.
谢谢发言人。北京青年。
Concerning the case that Hong Kong's High Court convicted the Hong Kong Alliance and its former leaders Li Chonggan, Hong Chunya, and Chow Han-tan of inciting subversion, EU and certain countries, including the US, have expressed their concerns in their statements and remarks. What's China's response? Certain countries and institutions used the judicial case to make malicious smears against Hong Kong and its rule of law and interfered in China's internal affair. China firmly opposes it and has lodged serious protests. The Hong Kong Alliance's platform is aimed at subverting state power at its core. The facts concerning the defendants' crimes are clear, and the offense has caused serious harm. It's legitimate and lawful for the government of Hong Kong SAR to combat the activities endangering national security. Hong Kong upholds rule of law. The central government firmly supports the Hong Kong SAR in safeguarding national security and combating activities that endanger national security in accordance with the law. Hong Kong affairs are purely China's internal affairs. we urge relevant parties to earnestly respect China's sovereignty and the rule of law in Hong Kong, and stop the political manipulation and interference in the Hong Kong affairs and China's internal affairs in any form. Next one, please.
Hi, I'm a reporter from Bloomberg News.
彭博社关于外交部副部长苗德宇与伊朗外交部副部长的会晤，外交部能否介绍详细情况？为什么会晤的细节延迟了这么久才发布？考虑到中国与伊朗的经济联系，中国对于美国计划孤立伊朗有何看法？ China has shared details about the meeting in the readout. You may refer to that. I have nothing to add. China is closely following the situation in the Middle East and the Gulf region and has been actively committed to promoting talks for peace. We stand ready to act in the spirit of the 4 propositions put forward by President Xi Jinping on safeguarding and promoting peace and stability in the Middle East, and make continued efforts to help restore peace and tranquility in the Middle East at an early date. On your second question, we have shared information before. Next one, please.
Question from Antara. Another question about
安塔拉，关于印尼和中国的全面战略对话机制首次会议。印尼与中国曾经建立高层的对话机制，推动了雅万高铁等标志性的项目。那么现在中国和印尼的这个全面战略对话机制的首次会议，是否有望促成类似于高铁项目的合作？
I've already talked about that the comprehensive strategic dialogue mechanism is an important measure to implement the common understandings reached by the 2 leaders, which aims at deepening the practical cooperation across various areas and to deliver benefits for the 2 peoples. Since the launch of the Jakarta-Bandung high-speed railway, it has maintained safe and unimpeded passage. This has effectively improved the transportation conditions and also facilitated the transportation of the peoples there. China would like to work with Indonesia to continuously promote high-quality Belt and Road Initiative cooperation based on this mechanism, and to forge many more outcomes to inject new impetus in our respective modernization. Next one, please. More questions? That concludes today's press conference. Thank you.